On January 28, 1971, the New Orleans Saints drafted Archie Manning as the second overall pick in the 1971 NFL Draft. Manning went on to become one of the most beloved quarterbacks in NFL history. He played 12 illustrious seasons with the Saints, is a two-time Pro Bowler, and a proud member of the Saints Ring of Honor and Saints Hall of Fame. It's a life Manning could have never imagined growing up in the small rural town of Drew, Mississippi. The standout high school athlete went on to play quarterback at Ole Miss for 3 seasons. Manning gained unprecedented attention as a junior in the first ever nationally televised primetime college football game.
It was kind of a big deal to be on TV. A lot of it was regional games. But when the schedule came out, we would play Alabama. It was just a 10-game schedule in those days. Third game of the year, we're going to play Alabama over in Birmingham and Legion Field on national TV in a night game. And there'd never been a night game on national TV. So that was kind of a big deal, and a lot of anticipation went into that game.
You know, you had Bear Bryant coaching Alabama. You had Johnny Vaught coaching Ole Miss, two Southern football powers, and both programs were basically known for their defense. You know, usually they won games 10-7, 14-10, stuff like that. Well, this was 33-32, and both teams went up and down the field. Scott Hunter was the Alabama quarterback, and Archie actually outgained Alabama himself. I'll never forget that, you know, the ABC cameras showed him going off the field. They didn't show Alabama celebrate. They showed Archie going off the field, you know, with a tear going down his cheek. And it was just an indelible image. And I mean, there's few times in athletics where you lose and you become more popular, or you gain more respect. But in that case, that one game, that put Archie on the national map. I mean, that's when everybody figured out, good Lord, this kid is good.
I remember Coach Vaught hired a secretary the next week to handle all my mail and everything. Of course, the game had been on national TV at night, and it was just, I know it's hard today for people to realize that it happens all the time. There's 20 games every Saturday night, but it was a lot of people saw the game. It kind of put me out there.
He was a projected top 5 pick. But back then, the NFL Draft was nowhere near the spectacle it is now. In fact, it was such a low-profile non-event, Manning didn't even realize it was happening.
And I get a call from the Ole Miss, not a coach, from the sports information director. He said, "Did you know the NFL Draft was tomorrow?" I said, "I did not." I said, "Maybe I knew it, but I just forgot." He said, "Well, you need to come over here. You need to come over here in the morning. It starts at 9 o'clock, and we've gotten some calls this week." So we've gotten some calls, and New England has the first pick, and they may take you. New Orleans has the second pick. They said they may, and then Houston's got the third. So I think this is the PR guy telling me. He said, "I think one of them's going to take you. You need to come over here." So I did, and I went over about 9 o'clock, and my draft day was like this. I showed up at 9 o'clock, waited around a few minutes, and at about 9:15, the Saints drafted me. And they put me on the phone with John Meekum Jr., who was our owner. Then I got on the phone with Mr. Vic Swank, who was our general manager. All these conversations were a minute, and then I got on the phone with J.D. Roberts, who was our head coach, and talked to all 3 of those gentlemen. And then an AP photographer came in and took my picture. So now it's about 9:45, so I went to my 10 o'clock class, and that was my draft day.
In 1978, Archie was named the NFC Player of the Year, while leading the Saints to a 7-9 record. During Archie's tenure in New Orleans, the Saints had 9 losing seasons, and he was sacked 337 times. But during that time, he made his mark with the team, and with the city, he still calls home.
Well, you know, we had constant changes in those days with the Saints. I changed coaches. I never had a coach over 2.5 years. And in 2.5 years, that's kind of significant there, because there's nothing worse than getting a coach fired in the middle of the season. I went through that 4 times in my career. It's the worst side of football. But through it all, even though I didn't always play real well and we didn't have very good teams, New Orleans people treated us great. They were wonderful to us, and I got involved with the city, got involved in charity work, and you just make so many friends and get to know good people here. And it's hard to believe that it's been 50 years, but it is what it is, and we've enjoyed our time here.